Shout out to our sponsor, Loot Anime.
Get a crate of anime and manga goodies for only $24.95 each month.
Use offer code THEKNOW to get $3 off a new subscription.
Just do it!
Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Turney.
E3 hype is at nuclear levels heading into the trade show, but judging from a new study of E3 data, it might be time to bring that down just a couple of notches. Not enough notches to not tune into our live streams, but just keep it reasonable.
And not to be confused with any game developers' notches. Several of those. Yes. Gotta keep that hype train from completely going off the rails, but actually do keep it going off the rails because it's much more fun that way. But
it is pretty fun.
What better way to temper your expectations if you want to be unfun and keep it on the rails, but with cold, unfeeling statistics?
Oh, numbers. You care for no one. This new study comes from Finder, who crunched some numbers from E3 2015 to find out just how likely it is that we'll actually play any of the games from this year's E3 by 2017.
According to the data, odds not very good.
Shame.
Finder's findings were rather interesting, indicating that 62% of games from last year's press conference are still unreleased.
Yeah, that's more than half. For those of you who don't do the math good.
Yeah.
The numbers also show a few other interesting trends when it comes to E3 press conferences.
But before we dive into all that, a bit more about how Finder put together all the info. First, they looked at all the games that were talked about at E3 2015 by the three major console makers. We're talking Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft here, and the three biggest publishers who do their own press events, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and EA respectively.
And then after all of that, they removed everything except first-party and third-party games that are console exclusives. They also looked at games announced from E3 the year prior, just to increase the sample size a little bit.
In all, it's incomplete data about every title we talked about at E3, but it's enough to give us an idea of what to expect for 2017.
There's almost no such thing as totally complete
It's true.
data. Everything is incomplete data. First, the big number we already discussed, 62% of games showcased last year still aren't out. That means that only 38% of games at E3 2015 actually made it to store shelves. Good for you guys, 38%. We are so proud of you. And of course, of those 38% that did come out, 33% weren't out until this year.
Only 5% in the same year. I do math good.
That was Bethesda right there for you. That was
Yeah.
them taking the Fallout 4 and going, nailed it!
We got one. Also, Fallout Shelter, I guess, is probably in there as well.
Fallout
Boosting
Shelter's the
it for
shit.
ya. Interestingly enough, most of those games, besides Bethesda, of course, came from Nintendo. Apparently, 83% of Nintendo's games were playable by Christmas of last year. So, I guess that whole not announcing a ton of shit worked well for you, Nintendo.
Works great. Interestingly enough, the biggest offender of the E3 hype madness is none other than Sony, who, according to Finder, is the, quote, worst performer. Their words. The data shows that Sony has only one game released from its E3 2015 press conference in that calendar year. That would, of course, be Devolver Digital's Ronin, an indie title.
In addition to that, Sony only released 23% of the games from its E3 2015 press conference before E3 2016. So they've got more games left out in the ether than pretty much anybody else. But to Sony's credit, they're bringing a lot of those titles in playable format to E3 this year. So yes, it's not a great turnaround, but still it's something.
Yeah, the actual best two companies at releasing games over the past year have been, surprise, surprise, EA and Nintendo, who've released 92% and 93% of their games respectively. So that could mean that anything we see from them this year has a higher chance of actually being in your hands by next E3.
Pokemon Snap 2, come on. As for games that were newly announced and not just showcased, Sony and Microsoft didn't release a single one of their newly announced titles before E3 2016, which, can you blame them? It's not really what that's for. Sort of.
Yeah,
Unless you're a Fallout.
Okay. A quick glance at just the announcement from last year does show a surprising number of high-profile games that still aren't out. That list includes games like For Honor, which I do seem to recall I was really excited I'd get to see it again at this E3, and that didn't seem abnormal to me, which shows you where we've come as an industry.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3, Ghost Recon Wildlands, ReCore, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ion, the emergent narrative MMO from DayZ creator Dean Hall, South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Yes. Sorry, don't put the pause there that I put in there. You never want to put a pause in a butthole. By the way, the list goes on to include things like Gears of War 4, Sea of Thieves, which again we're all excited to see this year, Metroid Prime Federation Force, and, you know, it keeps going on and on.
So basically, if we're super excited about something, it's probably not coming out. we're your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Of course, we do have release dates for some of these games. We'll be playing a few of them this year, but we still have no idea when to expect some of them.
Yeah. What's funny is that we're used to, again, like Ashley's saying, this whole cycle of hype now. We expect to wait at least a year for every title that gets newly announced at E3. But there are a depressing amount of games that were announced at E3's past that still haven't come out.
Yeah, this is an increasing trend. This isn't new. It's just more so than ever.
Yeah.
Fortunately for all of you, or unfortunately if you like released games, I suppose, we've put together a quick list of games that were revealed at E3's past that also have yet to see the light of day, because that way we can be depressed together.
Yeah, they haven't had their Scrooge moment yet. They haven't turned around. As for the purpose of this list, we're sticking only with the higher profile games that were specifically revealed or announced at E3 from the past. So that doesn't include things like Beyond Good and Evil 2 or Cyberpunk 2077, which were revealed at events outside of E3.
Yeah, the most overdue games from E3's past at the moment would be none other than Final Fantasy 15, Rockstar's Agent, and Sony's The Last Guardian. Final Fantasy 15 was revealed as Final Fantasy Versus 13 all the way back at E3 2006. Fortunately for all of us, it will be out later this year, and then we can tick that one off the list.
Yes, The Agent, on the other hand, was unveiled in 2009, and we basically heard nothing since then. Rockstar has said it's still in development. They've even re-upped the trademark, so that's nice.
That
but
must mean it's really far along.
nothing.
The Last Guardian is yet another relic from E3 2009. We still don't have an official release date for that, but right now it is slated to come out before the end of the year. Another one, hopefully, off the list, and we can all play Bird Dogs.
I want to see Bird Dog be afraid of the windmill again. Skipping a few years to E3 2011, we got the reveal of Brothers in Arms Furious 4, a World War II themed shooter from Gearbox and Ubisoft.
Where they presumably drive really fast out of buildings.
They're super furious. Don't get in a Jeep accident. Gearbox has since said that they folded. That was a terrible Fast and Furious reference. Gearbox has said that they have since folded a lot of their ideas from that game into Battleborn, so basically RIP.
Yeah, E3 2013 was another kind of rough year for still unreleased games. Both Kingdom Hearts 3 and Legend of Zelda Wii U were unveiled that year. Fortunately, we know that Zelda will be out next year with a simultaneous Wii U and NX launch. That seems to be the plan anyway. As for Kingdom Hearts, we're really not even getting anything about that at E3 this year, so who even knows? We'll probably get another really sweet trailer to just get just excited enough again. Hey, at least we get 2.8 this year. In a couple more decades, it might just knock off that extra decimal point.
Hey, should we talk about Kingdom Hearts? And then this is where you cut in, you get nothing! Because that's what we should have there. If every E3 was an overdue library book, by the way, E3 2014 would have the most fines of all.
And you don't want a library fine.
No, that'll get ya. That year we saw reveals for unannounced games like Mass Effect Andromeda, Crackdown 3, Dead Island 2, Inside, Let It Die, Beyond Cars, and Cuphead!
We still don't have any real release dates for any of those titles. In case of Dead Island 2 and Phantom Dust, the original developers were closed down, so things are probably not looking too good there.
Although there was some weird Dead Island 2 leak today about someone posting some info, so hey, it could live.
Maybe just a new studio?
Yeah, since
it's zombied up?
Yeah,
Okay.
that guy, he got run over by zombies and his shoes have been found.
He got bit.
Run over, that's what happens when you get run over by zombies. Since we covered unreleased 2015 titles earlier, that catches us up to every major game that we're still waiting on for now, or at least a rough estimate of every major game. So thanks, E3, for delivering on games that you don't deliver.
Whatever, we still love you. Every year we say we're not gonna get hyped and we get hyped anyway. Then we
Yeah.
repeat the cycle and it's a drug at this point.
It's like Nerd Christmas, except for your parents said they would be good this year, but then Dad got drunk again and stomped on all your presents. E3. So, yes, of course we'll be the first in line next week to hear all the announcements of the games we might not play for a long time, so please, Dad, stop drinking on Christmas.
Okay, which of these long overdue games are you guys looking forward to the most? I feel bad because it's like I'm just laughing at your dad's problems.
He didn't even drink on Christmas.
It's not even, he was
Just
still
the other
he was
days.
still drunk. How high is your E3 hype? How drunk is Meg's dad? Let us know in the comments.
He left, it doesn't matter. For future reality checks or insane levels of hype like this video, subscribe to the Know.
Thanks to Loot Anime for sponsoring this update.
Loot Anime sends you over $60 worth of cool stuff starting at just $24.95 each month.
Every crate has a theme, and this month's theme is victory.
The new crate features exclusive items from Splatoon, free, free, an Iwamushi pedal before it's gone. You'll wanna get it, because they usually sell out.